attend for her recognition. And also I'm expecting also Ken Houston from the Department of Transportation as
that's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm a panelist now. I missed the first part of what you said because it was doing its transition.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I will kick it off and then I'll turn it over to you and then we'll turn it over to Ken and then back to the board for any commentary.
Great, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Jordan. I will send you an invitation to join us as a panelist.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. I'm sorry that I'm a couple of minutes late here.
Oh, no worries. You're actually right on time.
Commission president to be even a minute late too.
You're right on time. I believe I have all commissioners on the line, just missing Dr. Davis. I am going to give him a call and see what his ETA is. And then we are just waiting for our honoree this morning to join us, Ms. Martin. I believe I just saw her log in. So good morning to you, Tamara. And thank you for joining us and congratulations on your retirement. We should be able to get started by 10:10 at the latest. So we're just waiting for Dr. Davis to join us and we should be able to kick this off. President Garcia, I am going to mute myself and I will get back to you with an ETA from Dr. Davis.
Okay, thank you.
President Garcia, ETA on Dr. Davis is about 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll hang on those 2 minutes.
Good morning, Ken. I'm sending you an invitation to join us as a panelist this morning. Once you receive that invitation, if you can just please accept that invitation and you will join us as a panelist. And thank you again for joining us this morning. And I'm hoping Ms. Martin will be surprised to see your name and you when you turn on your video as well.
Great. Thank you, Fernando.
Morning, Ken.
Hey, good morning, Tamara.
All right, at this time, we're just waiting for Dr. Davis to join us. He should be joining us in about 1 minute. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with just identifying those members of the general public that would like to provide general public comment or commentary on any of the items for today's agenda. If you can please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9 or clicking the raise hand icon on your Zoom application if you're joining us this morning through Zoom. Again, this is for members of the general public that would like to provide general public comment or commentary on any of the items for today's agenda. If you can please raise your hand by clicking the raise hand icon on the Zoom application or pressing *9 if you're joining us through a landline or smartphone device. At this time, we have one person that has raised their hand, Sylvia Blackstone. Sylvia, good morning to you and thank you for joining us to the Board of Public Works meeting for today, Friday, August 19th. If you can please let us know which item you'd like to speak on or general public comment.
General public comment, please.
Great. Thank you so much. I'll go ahead and add you to the list for public comment. As soon as we get started, we should get started hopefully no later than 10:10 this morning. Last call for any members of the general public that would like to provide general public comment or commentary on any of the items for today's agenda. If you can please raise your hand at this time by pressing *9 or clicking the raise hand icon if you're joining us through the Zoom application. This is the last call for any other members. Great. At this time, we're going to go ahead and move forward and test the audio equipment for our commissioners. We are expecting Dr. Davis to join us, and then we should be able to get started any minute. Commissioners, good morning to you. I am going to go ahead and start spotlighting you for the public, and I will start with you, VP Villegas. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Morning. Commissioner Corzan, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Commissioner Reyes,
Good morning.
good morning. And I see President Garcia, there she is.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning. And I don't see Dr. Davis just yet, but we are just about at the 2-minute mark. And President Garcia, I can call him again one more time, or if you want to wait maybe another 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, let's hang on. He said he was logging in, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we'll hang on a few seconds more. Dr. Campos, I say we get started at the 10:10 mark. It's just giving him a couple more seconds.
He is on the line.
All right.
Dr. Davis, do you want to go ahead and test your
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
President Garcia? All commissioners are on the line. Presenters are also present, and we also have our honoree this morning, Ms. Tamara Martin, in celebration of her 23 years of city service on the line as well.
All right. Well, let's get started. Good morning, Ms. Martin.
Good morning.
Great. You are now in record mode.
Okay. You. And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting for the Board of Public Works for Friday, August 19, 2022. Dr. Campos?
Good morning, everyone. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, establishing roll call and quorum for this morning. We have President Garcia, Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis, and Commissioners Corzan and Reyes. President Garcia, you do have a quorum at this time. President Garcia, we do have one caller on the line under general public comment. We have no commentary under the neighborhood council comment section, and we have no commentary for any of the items for today's agenda. Again, just one member of the general public under general public comment this morning.
Okay, thank you for that, Dr. Campos. At this time, we'll take the one caller for under general public comment.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and start with Ms. Sylvia Blackstone. Sylvia, if you can please unmute your microphone at this time. The Board of Public Works is taking general public comments at this time. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under this category. Please go ahead.
Hello, this is Silva Blackstone. retired certified arborist. I'm calling in regard to the California pepper tree, Shinus molay, that was removed at 121 South Avenue 66 in Garvanza 90042. And I just want to give you a little feedback from the property owner who has lived there for 25 years. And I happened to stop by to see the grave sites of the two trees that were removed, including his tree on, I believe, I didn't write down the date, but it was in July. And I believe that he was the recipient of targeted enforcement because apparently someone came and said he needed to repair his driveway apron. And they offered him the sidewalk replacement reimbursement program, which he stated would cost him $14,000. Not including the small amount of reimbursement he would get. Anyway, just to let you know that these trees have standing, and he signed a signed document saying he did not want to have his tree removed. But the David Miranda and his crew, his troops, seem to be fixated on this tree, that it need to be removed. And this tree was planted as part of the Garvanza Improvement Association beautification effort around 1905 to 1907. And it stood there as a witness to the neighborhood all this time.
2 minutes.
And
If
from his point of view, the canopy of these trees blocked his view of York Boulevard and the intersection. And now
Sylvia, if you can please wrap up. It's been 2 minutes.
okay, he has the pleasure of seeing all the traffic, and he was then promised a replacement tree of the same species. And I'm here to advocate for he actually getting a replacement tree of the same species. Thank you.
Thank you. President Garcia, that clears the queue for general public comment.
Great, thank you very much for that. Public comments officially now closed. Moving on to the first item of today's business, which is the approval of the minutes for Friday, August 5th, 2022. Is there a second to my motion to move this item forward and forthwith?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. Dr. Campos, there's a first by me and a second by Commissioner Reyes to move the approval of the minutes forward and forthwith.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corzan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And now we're moving on to our second item of business today, and this is the recognition retirement for Ms. Tamara Martin, who served the city as a senior management analyst for 23 years. And today we are recognizing her 23 years of service and also celebrating her as she starts her retirement, her next chapter in life. And just want to make sure that, you know, Tamara Martin, you were very much loved here. We always felt that you were a strong pillar within the Petroleum Administrator Office, and we knew that, you know, things would get handled there. Between you and Erica, for a long time, it was just a two-woman shop, and you guys handled that pretty well. So I just want to say congratulations to you both for really recognizing your work today, Ms. Martin, and making sure that you have a great and future retirement, just celebrating life and resting and just enjoying now what you've done. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Campos, who's going to lead today's presentation.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Tamara Good to see you and congratulations again on your retirement. We
Yeah.
have a great panel this morning in celebration of your retirement. We have Erica Blyther, our Patrolman Administrator from the Office of Patrolman Natural Gas Administration. We also have former Supervisor Ken Husting from the Department of Transportation. And he's a Principal Transportation Engineer. So we will all say a few words about you and congratulate you on your retirement. And then also we have several individuals that are on the line also listening and watching in on this video. And so we'll give them an opportunity to raise their hand just a little bit longer in a few minutes so that they can say a few words to you as well. I just wanted to give a little bio of where you were and where you are and as of your retirement. And also wanted to echo some of the sentiments that President Garcia said in regards to your support and your leadership at the Office of the Petroleum Administration Office. Commissioners, Tamara Martin has been with the City of Los Angeles for 23, almost 24 years of service with the City of Los Angeles. Started her career back in 1998. And one of the fun facts about Tamara is that she has a legal background. And so one of her first assignments in 98 was an administrative hearing officer with the Department of Transportation. Now, we don't hold that against her because she was at Transportation, because we're a public works family. However, her career in administrative hearing officer led to also the next role in 2001, where she promoted as a commission hearing officer with the Economic and Workforce Development Department. And then she went back in 2005 to DOT, to her original roots as administrative hearing officer. So she spent many years, about 7-8 years, doing hearing adjudication type of work with her legal framework and her background. And that was extremely helpful for the City of Los Angeles, and just having claims not only adjusted, but also resolved at her level and hearing those claims. In 2006, the City of Los Angeles picked her up as a clerk typist. This is what we now call as administrative clerk. This is at the library, Tamara, so I'm taking you back many years ago. And then promoted as a management assistant with the Bureau of Contract Administration. So it took Tamara about maybe 8 years for her to realize that Public Works was really where she ought to be, where she needed to be. However, she did finally make it to Public Works in 2006 with the Bureau of Contract Administration. However, in 2008, we lost Tamara again to the Department of Transportation, going back to her original roots as a management analyst. And there she promoted as a analyst 1, and then she moved up as a management analyst 2 with transportation. Finally, in 2019, she comes back to Public Works. She comes not only back to Public Works exactly, but to the Board of Public Works, helping us launch at that time a new office with Petroleum Administration. So Tamara was assigned with a daunting task in regards to managing our franchises. At the time, we had over 40 plus franchises. Many of them had been expired or were going to expire, and she was very instrumental in moving us with the holdover permits or holdover term extension of those franchises. And so wanted to say thank you to Tamara for all her help during that transitional period, transitioning work from the Department of Transportation to the Board of Public Works, not only as the function, but also herself moving from a different department. In addition to that, wanted to recognize Tamara for not only her leadership, but also her way of stepping up into the role of leadership. Many of you may not know this, but Tamara was one of those individuals that volunteered during the disaster service worker period during COVID times, and she was a volunteer, and she supervised a group of about 6 to 8 individuals contact tracing. And Tamara, you can correct me if you had more individuals, but it was a good size a group of folks that you not only supervised within the Department of Public Works, but also liaison with the LA County and also the Department of Emergency Management. And so during that time, we asked for individuals to not only help with the Lock Key hotels project, but we also had senior meals and we also had contact tracing. So Tamara was one of those individuals that not only volunteered, but raised her hand up high and said, I will not only supervise, I will lead the group, I will train the group, and I will still keep doing my work in addition to the work of disaster service workers. So I wanted to say publicly, thank you for that work. Thank you for stepping up, and thank you for being a disaster service worker during a time of need in 2020. Tamara was also recognized by your board in 2021 as one of the women in leadership in public works recognee and honoree for not only her work in petroleum franchise administration, but also in her work as disaster service worker and also our bonds and insurance units. So she does check to make sure all our franchisees not only have the insurances in place, the coverages in place, but also the bonds in place in case there is a disaster, in case there is a spill, or if there's something that needs to be mitigated. Those bonds and insurance really protect the city in terms of our risk management perspective. In addition to that, she manages and also, or she managed, now that she's retired, she managed a slew of invoices that collects about $20 million in revenues for the city of Los Angeles. One of those coming from Southern California, a gas company, and then all our franchisees. And most importantly, for our council districts that are listening in, Tamara was the person that not only led the research and collection of revenues and billing of revenues, but she also did what we call the council district split. So under the charter, there is a 50% split that the council offices receive on certain types of revenues for our franchise revenues, and that 50% goes to the council offices. So Tamara was the sole person that not only put everything together, looked at what the cost of or the distribution percentages, but also made sure that every year that those funds were transferred over to the council offices. So I want to say publicly, thank you, Tamara, for not only being a great public servant, but also your leadership for stepping up in the role of disaster service worker, for being Women of the Year and being recognized as a public works leader and woman in the department, but also how professional you are and how you conducted business here with the Department of Public Works. And of course, transportation, and Ken is going to say a lot of words regarding your role in transportation. So with that, I'm going to transfer it over and pass the virtual mic over to Erica Blyther, who was Tamara's direct supervisor for all the years that she was here with the board. But I want to say thank you again to Tamara and congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you. Those are wonderful remarks. You might have covered a lot of what I was going to say, but I mean, it's all right. Let's keep on the glory. This is the time to do it. So Tamara Martin began working with the city on November 10th, 1998. During her 23 years with the city, she had the opportunity to work at various departments. Tamara spent a number of years at the Department of Transportation, as covered by Dr. Campos, but she also worked at the Contract Administration Department, Library Department, and the Economic and Workforce Development Department. Tamara joined the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas as a senior management analyst in the franchise section on February 16, 2019. As Dr. Campos mentioned, we have many franchisees who we collect revenue from. And under Tamara, we collected a combined total of $21.6 million in franchise payments, excluding SoCalGas, and $78.3 million in franchise payments, including SoCalGas. So that's a lot of revenue that Tamara has helped bring in. We also assessed $35,000 in fines for noncompliance with franchise agreements, and that's related to the bonds and insurance. Tamara was always willing to step in and provide assistance. As Dr. Campos mentioned, during the height of the pandemic, she served as a disaster service worker, coordinating contact tracing efforts with LA County. Tamara also balanced caregiving for family along with work and has been a devoted caregiver. Tamara also took the lead in building morale and community within the board, and back when we were in person, she organized our Halloween potluck party. We'll miss her, but we send her off with many thanks and the best of wishes on her retirement. So thank you so much for all your efforts, Tamara.
Thank you very much.
And I'll pass it on to Ken.
Great. Good morning, Commission, and good morning to everybody that's watching this. Tamara, congratulations. So on behalf of LADOT management, I would like to formally congratulate you on your retirement and thank you for your many years of dedicated service at LADOT. For those of you that don't know, she was identified as one of our outstanding employees at LADOT before she made the move over to the Department of Public Works. She has made a lasting impact on her work and has been missed by many of her coworkers. Now, on a personal note, for those of you that don't know Tamara very well, she is a very intelligent, well-educated, caring, and funny person. She has a witty, dry sense of humor where she can give a deadpan delivery and make you laugh out loud. I've had the pleasure of working with Tamara from 2013 to 2019, where she supervised teams in the Parking Permits Division and the Parking Operations and Support Division. In each group, she helped lead, coach, and mentor coworkers and patiently assisted the public with the parking requests. So in parking, for those of you who don't know, it can be very personal and very passionate. And she often exhibited, patience when she was faced with the most challenging individuals, and she handled it with distinction and professionalism. Moreover, I'm proud to call Tamara a personal friend, and I wish her nothing but the best in the next chapter of her life. Congratulations, Tamara. You'll be missed.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Erica, for those kind words. And thank you for joining us this morning in celebration and honoring Tamara Martin for her service, not only to the city of LA at large, but Public Works and DOT as well. So congratulations, Tamara, again on that. For those that are listening in that would like to say any commentary, if you'd like to raise your hand at this time by pressing *9, or you can click the raise hand icon, you can do so at this time. Otherwise, if seeing no hands raised, we'll turn it over to your board, President Garcia, for any commentary.
Yes, we'll hang on to see, but I think I'll pass it over to a commissioner, see if we want to give any last departing good farewells to Ms. Martin. So I'll pass it over to Vice President Villegas.
Thank you. What a pleasure it's been to be able to hear all the accolades, and thank you for your 23 years of service to the city. That's really commendable. Nowadays, we just see a lot of folks just coming in and out. Seeing somebody just be able to stay as long as you have really speaks to your character and your value system to the city. Thank you so much for all of your work, and being able to work so closely and really monitor things that are really important for our city, because if we don't have diligent employees, that reflects on the city itself. So you are emblematic of that. So thank you for everything that you've done for our city of Los Angeles. And you are young and you still have a whole nother life ahead of you. So enjoy to the best that you can. Thank you. I'm wishing you beautiful health and a good life ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Dr. Davis.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and it is an honor for me to congratulate Tamara Martin. I learned so much oftentimes in watching these receptions and retirement presentations before the board. And in my observation this morning, it is clear to me that, Tamara, you are an outstanding role model for all of those with whom you've worked throughout the city. And you have made institutional change throughout the city in general, not just simply in transportation and in public works. In every place that you have been, according to the testimony that we've heard this morning, you have truly been a pace setter. And so I think as we celebrate your 23 years of service to the great city of Los Angeles, that you, when you sit on your front porch, can look back with pride on what an outstanding job that you have done. And they always say when you do it right the first time, you don't have to go back and do it again. So as you sit on that porch, you can look back with pride on what an outstanding public servant you have been to the entire city of Los Angeles. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Commissioner Corson.
Thank you. I don't believe we have met Ms. Martin, and I feel very left out of this. So I'm not sure if we can pull you back in for another 23 months to add to your 23 years. I'm always fascinated with individuals who work in the city and in government for such a long, extended period of time, as Vice President Villegas says. It takes a commitment, in my experience, that other jobs don't require, because it is demanding, and the thanks isn't always present because we're such a large organization. And it's wonderful that at the end of your illustrious career, that at a commission hearing, we can convey that thanks, because it probably didn't come at the moments you expected it. It probably didn't come at the moments where you deserved it. But hopefully now you know, receiving it, even from someone new like me, and hearing your wonderful career and feeling left out, there is a conveyance of gratitude there. And especially since you've grown into the city and have evolved. And the city, I've realized, requires a lot of institutional knowledge for us as commissioners, especially, to be successful. And I think I'm going to miss that, and having heard what I'm going to miss out on. So thank you for your service. Thank you for just being an incredible public servant to our city. As someone who's lived here his entire life, has probably benefited from things you've done the last 23 years that I didn't know, and there should be probably somewhere a Tamara Martin plaque for the work you've done. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Corson. And Commissioner Reyes.
I just want to express my heartfelt gratitude for all the work that you've done, for serving the city. Your gifts are not about you. Your leadership is not about you. Your purpose is not about you, but your life of significance is about serving those who need your gifts, your leadership, and your purpose. I really see you as a true servant leader, and I admire your tenacity, your determination, you stepping up in times of need of the city, being a disaster service worker. That is so critical during the pandemic. And I so admire the skills that you brought forth, the way that you collaborated with people, and the way you brought forth successful projects and initiatives that you worked with in LADOT and the Bureau in our Board of Public Works. And anybody who has worked with Ken Husting deserves the accolades for all the work that you've done. I've worked with Ken before on some projects. You know, LADOT is a wonderful place to work, but there's a lot of, things that go on there, and it's such a busy place. And you've managed to, straighten it out, bring things forth, accomplish a lot of things. And you did the same anywhere you've been assigned to. So I express my heartfelt gratitude, Tamara. Enjoy your retirement. That's next chapter out there. Enjoy it fully. And I know, knowing you and your record, you'll probably be looking at purposely serving up your retirement somewhere else and doing other good stuff. And I wish you all the luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner Reyes. I see we have Ms. Sutter with her hand up. Amanda Sutter.
Hi, Tamara. I just wanted to quickly say thank you so much for your time. I know our time together was a short blip on that scale of your time with the city, but I am so grateful to have had you as a role model as I began my career in the city. And as everyone's demonstrated here today, you're just a shining example of those who make this city run. And again, I'm just so grateful that you were one of the first people that I got to learn from in my career at the city. So thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your time, your retirement, your time with your dogs, and just have the best time for the next, I don't know how long. Enjoy it.
None of us do.
Wow. Thank you, Ms. Sutter. Dr. Campos, I see Gordon Jung with his hand up.
Yes. Gordon, please go ahead.
Oh, hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm pretty new to the city, so good morning to everybody here. Nice to meet you all. I'm the management assistant in the Board of Public Works Petroleum Office. I work under Tamara, and I just wanted to let Tamara know that I truly appreciate everything that she's taught me, and she is just a super caring and just a very patient person. I've learned so much from her just in my 10 or 11 months that I've been here. You know, just not even, you know, the stuff that, you know, we do every day in the office, but just city knowledge in general. You know, as somebody who's so new to the city, I've learned so much from her, and just words can't describe how appreciative I am for the 10 or 11 months that I spent with her. And yeah, Tamara, I hope you enjoy your retirement. I'll miss you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Gordon. It's been a pleasure to serve with you. And as always, feel free to call me whenever you need anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Gordon Young, and welcome to the Board of Public Works. I personally want to just thank you for your time, Ms. Martin. I appreciate all those years that I saw you going back and forth from the office boardroom to back to the office, and just walking the halls was always very, I knew you were doing all the right things, and I knew that the office was succeeding, even though I knew we had come down to two folks in that big shop, and you guys, I have to say, Erica and Tamara, you guys did a great job during those years that we were just really running on you, both of you, and the office never skipped a beat. Everything was always delivered, and we were always on time on anything that had to do within your office. I don't worry of the administration office at all. I know that with both of you at the helm, it was really it's up always, and that's really comforting as commissioners to know that office is running well. We will miss you, Ms. Martin. I know Erica will, and I know the great folks that are coming on board. As you just heard right now, are already missing you. So you are an impressive person, and you've left a mark within the Board of Public Works. And there's not a lot of women that work in this field, and you are just you are unique for having this expertise, and we will definitely miss it, and the city will miss it too. And I think one of my colleagues said, you know, it's very hard to now get long-serving, committed people to join the city, and you are just a reflection of what the city really does need so that we can thrive. And it's just too bad that I know we understand you have to go live your life, but you know, the city will miss that knowledge that you bring, and that really comforting aspect of the city and running the city. So thank you, Ms. Martin, for your time. Enjoy the rest of your retirement, and I think in a year from now we can probably call you back and see if you can come and help us train others. But I just want to say, for now, just enjoy it. Just enjoy your time. You deserve it, and feel proud, as Dr. Davis said, as you sit at your porch, of what you've done for the city.
Thank you very much. It's always been a privilege to serve with all of you. I look forward to being a resource to those who choose to use me as such. There are people there who know how to reach me, and while I'm gone, I hope I am not soon forgotten, but I do know that everyone will grow past my knowledge base, and they'll do it very quickly. And soon that I will become even more obsolete. But that's a good thing. That just means that the city progresses. You have new talent and new expectations and new opportunities. And I look forward to moving on with my life, to still provide some assistance to you, and to be able to be called on as a resource as long as possible. I'm still here. I may not be as readily available, but I am still here and willing to help out when I can. I will be looking into doing additional volunteer work as well. And on the whole, I look forward to a long and happy retirement, and I encourage you all to join me as soon as possible on the other side of the wall.
That's perfect. Thank you, Ms. Martin, for your time. Dr. Campos, you want to close us on today's presentation?
Absolutely. Tamara, again, congratulations on your retirement, 23 years of public service. You were a great addition and we will definitely miss you at the Board of Public Works and the Department of Transportation, the city at large. Just wanted to let you know also, you also get a certificate. It'll be either mailed to you or we'll hand deliver it over to Erica so that you can pick it up. So you're not going just with a virtual recognition, you're going away with a certificate as well. And then we hope to keep in touch with you as well throughout the year. So again, enjoy retirement. Congratulations again with 23 years of service with the City of Los Angeles.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ken Huston, for joining us this morning as well. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Martin. Have a good rest of the day. Really appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you here and there.
Thank you.
Erica, thank you for your time also, and thank you for today's presentation. Thank you for making it happen too.
Thank you.
All right. All right, colleagues, this is like the weird transition time. You know, we just had such a nice moment, and okay, now we got to run our business. So with that said, I hope everybody here that was here for Ms. Martin have a good rest of the day. And thank you again, Ms. Martin, for your service with the city. We really do appreciate you. But enjoy the rest of your years, just enjoying life now.
Thank you very much.
All right, colleagues, moving on now to item number 1 on today's agenda item. And I believe we have Ms. Angela Martinez for these couple items. And I could take 1, 2, 3 together, right? Okay. I'll read them into the record, and then you can give us context around it, Angela. Item number 1, this is in Council District 14, Contract Acceptance, Secondary Sewer Renewal Program, P19 Figueroa Street and Yosemite Drive, recommending the board to 1, accept this contract. Item number 2, Council District 14, Contract Acceptance, Highbury Pumping Plant number 604, Rehabilitation Project Capital Improvement Project number 7184, recommending the board to 1, accept this contract. And item number 3, on all council districts, this is also a contract acceptance, Emergency Sewer Storm Drain Repair Quarterly Acceptance Report, recommending the board to 1, accept the 147 sewer and 10 storm drain projects of the Emergency Sewer and Storm Drain Repair Program. Ms. Martinez, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, President Garcia. Good morning, Commissioners, Dr. Campos, and thank you all for your service and those kind words to Tamara. I don't know her, but I hope to join her soon in her journey. I'll try to make this really brief. The first one, item 1 for the Yosemite Drive. The contract was executed by you all on May 22nd, 2017, the board rather, giving a contingency of about $238,000 with a total authorized budget of approximately $5 million. Construction was completed on July 29th, 2020 by Ramona Incorporated. And what the project consisted of was removal, replacement, and rehabilitation of over 5.7 miles of 6, 8, and 15-inch sewer lines in the central Los Angeles area as part of the wastewater collection system, which we call SSRP. And the purpose was to upgrade the structural capability and to correct various deficiencies in the existing sewer collection system. On February 22nd, 2019, the board approved additional funding, thus giving a new authorized budget of approximately $6.7 million. The funding increase was due to several scope changes added to the project. For this project, difficult to access reaches called DAR were included, which closed circuit television, CCTV, was not available for evaluation during the design phase. Because of this issue, the project required the contractor to produce and submit the CCTV of the reaches, and it was found that many of the reaches had damage that required repair, replacement that exceeded the quantity projected in the original design. Subsequently, 32 change orders were issued. And the project was completed at 23.68% above the awarded amount and 13.9% below its authorized budget. Retention funds were released, disputed funds were released, and the mandatory subcontracting minimum requirement for this project was 25%, but the awarded bidder had pledged to meet 35.87% for SMM. Unfortunately, the level was not met, so subsequently $27,638.09 was deducted from the fixed item cost items, which resulted in a final contract amount of approximately $5.8 million. That's a lot of numbers. Second item. This contract was awarded by the board on May 31st, 2018 in the amount of approximately $2.9 million and was completed on April 22nd, 2021 by Green Building Corporation. The project consisted of procurement, demolition, and the installation of 4 pumps, 4 variable frequency drives, inlet, discharge, and check valves, and their integration with the existing system, along with the replacement of the existing 150 kilowatt generators with ancillary equipment. Various repairs were made within and outside the pumping plant. The project control system was upgraded and included hardware change of the current programmable logic controller, software programming, and the power supply backup. This is also known as SCAD communication. The project was awarded for approximately $2.9 million with a 10% contingency, giving a total authorized budget amount of $3,264,800. On March 13th, 2020 and January 21st, 2022, the board awarded additional contingency funds along with 30 change orders that were issued, increasing the contract amount to $4,566,546.33. The project was completed at 53.86% of the awarded amount and 0.61% below its revised budget, authorized budget. The total change order amount exceeds 5% of the original contract amount due to scope changes related to process control and instrumentation, SCADA communication, and bypass system. The delays associated with the PLC design and procurement and the communication system increased the bypass system duration on the project. A request for release of retention funds was processed on December 7th. The mandatory subcontracting minimum requirement for this project was 25%, but the awarded bidder pledged 26.79% and met this level with only 23.52%, so subsequently a deduction of $37,767.54 was deducted from this fixed cost items, which resulted in a final contract amount of $4,528,778.79. I'm almost done, I promise. The last one, item number 3, is basically the quarterly acceptance report for the emergency sewer and storm drain repair. It involved 147 emergency sewer work projects that were scheduled from September 2016 to April 2022, and 10 storm drain projects for work performed from 9/2018 to March of 2022. The report represents 157 construction orders that were completed between May 2018 and April 2022, which utilized 20 on-call contractors. These represent a subset of the emergency sewer and storm drain work that is inspected by BCA and initiated by the Bureau of Sanitation to make necessary and expeditious repairs to the city's damaged sewer and storm drain systems. The cost and scope of work was valued from $1,891.07 to $614,541.64 and range from sewer and storm drain mainline cleaning, small spot repairs, to complete removal and replacement of mainline pipes. The projects were either performed on a T&M material or an agreed price basis. Okay, here we go. In closing, there were no funds disputed on any of these projects. None of them had withheld funds. So therefore, no funds are due to any of the contractors. There are no resolved property owners' complaints for any of these projects. All contractors complied with all EEO and labor compliance requirements of their contracts, and CPRs were submitted for all projects. We are asking the board to accept these projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Martinez. This is a crucial moment for you. I think you'd rather be outside making sure things are getting done out there, right? No
Yes,
problem.
please.
But we're lucky to have you and see you. So even though it's critical, I mean, even though it's excruciating for you, we love to have you here. How's that? All right, colleagues, any questions on items 1, 2, or 3? Hearing none.
I don't have any questions. Just thank you for being so diligent and just sharing all the details. Those are important for us as well. Thank you.
That is so good to hear, Commissioner, because I never know what part to say, and I try to sparse it down. So thank you.
Thank you,
Or
Angela.
parse it down. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Vice President Villegas. Dr. Davis, did you have a question or a comment?
No, I just was trying to verify, we're putting all of these 3 items together in one motion, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Is that a motion from you, though?
That'll be so moved.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. I'll second that. Dr. Campos is a first by Dr. Davis and a second by me to move items 1, 2, and 3 forward and forthwith.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corzan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous, moving items 1 through 3 forward and forthwith.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. And thank you, Ms. Martinez. You did a great job. We love having you here. And please keep coming to our board so that we get to still see you and get to hear your great energetic style. We love it.
Well, you're so kind, but unfortunately, you're going to see me again shortly.
Oh, okay, good. Well, good. I think you're in the back end of our meeting today. So thank you, Ms. Martin, for that. Ms. Martinez for that. Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 4. This is in County District 5, revised funding sources. Western District refused York project, recommending the board to 1, authorize a change to the funding sources for the project. And we have Mr. Mulhern here to present on this item. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners. I'm Mike Mulhern with the Geotechnical Engineering Division of the Bureau of Engineering. We came to you April 1st, 2022 to receive authorization to spend up to $622,075 at the Western District Refuse Yard for enhanced remediation. We're sort of under the gun by the Regional Water Quality Control Board, who has recently asked for some more work. You approved that very nicely, and when we sent out the notice to proceed, we found out some of the money had been swept away by the CAO, so we had to wait for the new fiscal year to get a new funding source. So the amount of money that was missing, $131,508, is now going to be from our new fiscal year funding source, which is 00W318. So the total amount authorized remains the same. We just shifted some of the money from a different appropriation unit. We have to do this on an annual basis because the CAO just gives us 1 year's budget at a time. And this particular one, I had we've been kind of shorted the last few years, but I had a healthy contingency built up from previous years, but that wasn't quite enough to handle all this extra work. So we're just asking to use this W318 appropriation unit to send out the remaining part of the NTP to finish this out through this year.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mohan, for that, for your report. Commissioners, any questions on this item? Just to clarify and put on record, for this year, we were given the amount of how much, Mr. Mohan? For this year?
For this fiscal year, it's $131,508.32.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any objections, colleagues?
None. I so moved the item.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Hearing none, there's a, is there a second to Dr. Davis's motion?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Dr. Campos is a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Vice President Villegas to move item number 4 forward and forthwith.
So we'll go
Thank you
ahead
very
and
much.
Hang on, hang
Let's
on.
go ahead and start the voting tabulation, Michael, first. Almost there, almost there. We'll start the voting now. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corzan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous.
Great. Thank you very much. Dr. Campos, thank you, Mr. Mohan. Now you can go ahead and spend the
I don't
money.
mean to sound like I'm trying to get out of here or anything.
It's just a little bit. Just
Yeah, okay. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a good Friday.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, moving on to item number 5, colleagues. This is no speaker on this one. This is our monthly finding to continue teleconference meetings pursuant to Assembly Bill AB 361, recommending the board to 1, adopt the finding and determination in accordance with AB 361, Section 3E3, that while the state of emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as originally proclaimed by the governor on March 4th, 2020, remains active, and or state or local officials have imposed or recommended measures to promote social distancing, this legislative body has reconsidered the circumstances of the state of emergency, and that the state of emergency continues to directly impact the ability of the members to meet safely in person, and or state or local officials continue to impose or recommend measures to promote social distancing. Is there a second to my motion to move this item forward and forthwith?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos is a first by me and a second by Dr. Davis to move item number 5 forward and forthwith.
Yes, we'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corzan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Campos, for that. Colleagues, moving on to item number 6. Who do we have here for 6, 7, 8, and 9?
You have Ms. Martinez again.
Ms. Martinez. Okay, Ms. Martinez, can I take them all together again?
Please.
Okay, good. All right, I'll read them into the record, and then Ms. Martinez will give us context again on all these subcontractor substitution requests. And item number 6, it's a subcontractor substitution for KDC Inc., DB, doing business as Dyna Electric, recommending the board concur with the action of Commissioner Davis approving the request of KDC Inc., doing business as Dyna Electric, for the subcontractor substitution of Bill Petty's Backhoe Service Inc. with KDC Inc., doing business as Dyna Electric, for auguring of pole foundations, trenching, and restoration work for Highway Safety Improvement Program Cycle 6, Project 1, 2, and 4. Item number 7, subcontractor substitution, Servitech Electric Inc., recommending the board to concur with the action of Commissioner Davis approving the request of Servitech Inc. for the subcontractor substitution of Technical TV Inc. with Servitech Electric Inc. for conduit installation, excavation, and surface restoration for the West Side Unit 5 high voltage conversion fiscal year 2021 street lighting project plan number M-2456. Item number 8, subcontractor substitution, KDC Inc., doing business at Dyna Electric Inc., Dyna Electric, recommending the board concur with the action of Commissioner Davis, approving the request of KDC Inc., doing business as Dyna Electric Inc., for the subcontractor substitution of Bill Petty's Backhoe Service Inc. with KDC Inc. for work done in connection of street lighting conduit only project unit 8, high voltage conversion fiscal year 2019 street lighting project. And item number 9, subcontractor substitution KDC Inc. doing business as Dyna Electric, recommending the board to concur with the action of Commissioner Davies, approving the request of KDC Inc. doing business as Dyna Electric for the subcontractor substitution of Bill Petty's Backhoe Service Inc. with KDC Inc. for work done in connection with the street lighting conduit only project unit 9, high voltage conversion fiscal year 2019-20 street lighting project. And Ms. Martinez, I'm turning it now over to you.
Thank you, President Garcia, and thank you for doing all the heavy lifting just there. Because it made my job easier, because basically I'm just going to say that a certified letter was sent to the 2 subcontractors, Bill Petty and Technico, advising them that they were being substituted, and they had 5 business days to reply in writing if they wanted to object to their substitution. No one contacted the Bureau, so we moved forward with the substitutions of the subcontractors, and the substitutions will be made at no additional cost to the city. So I'm asking for your approval on this with the recommendation of Commissioner Davis to approve these substitutions for items 6 through 9.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Any questions, colleagues? Vice President, 1 minute, Dr. Davis. Vice President Villegas has questions, and then we'll
Sure.
taking your motion after that.
Thank you for your report. Just really quick, the substitutions, I understand they didn't respond. Are these small businesses, or what kind of businesses are these that didn't respond? Or I'm sure that you all took that into consideration. And was there like fiscal implications why they couldn't fulfill the work?
Well, a lot of them, they did meet the MSM, I believe it is. And one of them, I think Bill Petty is it, that's a OBE subcontractor. And the other one, the Technico, was SBE. So yes, they were involved in that. And this happens a lot, to my dismay, that they get approved and then it's all of a sudden they don't respond. And I don't know why. Maybe cost goes up and they can't meet the original contract fulfillment amount, dollar amount. I'm not sure. That's what I believe it is.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't have any questions.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Any other questions, colleagues? Hearing none, I appreciate you giving us context about the letter being sent. That tells us that we did our due diligence around this, so thank you for that. Dr. Davis has put a motion to move items 6, 7, 8, and 9 forward and forthwith. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes. Dr. Campos, there's a first by Dr. Davis to move items 6 through 9, and a second by Commissioner Reyes to second that motion to move it forward and forthwith.
Absolutely. We'll start the voting tabulation now. We'll start with you, President Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corzan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous, moving items 6 through 9 forward and forthwith.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. Thank you, Ms. Martinez. I think you are done for today, right?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And
Have a
thank
good-
you again for your service. It really is appreciated. And you guys are awesome. Listening to you Wednesday about the bus shelter, so informative. Thank you all very much.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Martinez. Appreciate. I think we all appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Really great questions.
Good, good. Thank you. Have a good rest of the week and weekend. I should just say weekend. All right. colleagues, moving on to our oral report section. We have item number 10. This is the status update on major upcoming street improvement projects from the Bureau of Street Services. And we have Mr. Young here. Mr. Young, welcome. Good morning. Although you're on mute though, sir.
I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody. This information is being provided to keep the public informed on the upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize impact on the community as well as delays to the commuters. Streets LA would like to provide you with an update on all major upcoming street improvement projects. There's no major street projects scheduled in the metro area, but they will complete 11 projects for a total of 5.6 lane miles in the week of 8/21st to the 27th, 2022. The Valley region will do one major project, Victory Boulevard, from Fallbrook to Leader, and CD12, West Hills Neighborhood Council, and CD3, Woodland Hills Warner Center Neighborhood Council. Any additional information that you need, Mr. Nichols will provide at area code 213-847-3200. And this finishes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Any questions for the Bureau of Street Services? Seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Young. Have a good weekend.
All right, you guys have a good weekend as well.
See you next week.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
All right, moving on to item number 11. This is a report back from the Petroleum and Natural Gas Administration and Safety update from the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas Administration and Safety. And we have here Erica Blyther.
Can
Welcome.
I share my screen? I'm not sure if I have the ability to.
Sure. Yeah. Yes, you can. Dr. Campos will.
Great. Thank you.
Erica, if you hover towards the lower middle of your screen, you should have a share screen icon that's highlighted in green.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Yes. Yes.
You
Okay.
can click on that, and the only thing I will ask is do not click the end button, the red button, because that would terminate the full call. So red is
Okay,
bad. Green is good.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me get situated. Sorry. Okay. I think I got it. Okay. And do you see a slide? Yes. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So, okay. Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. I have a lot of slides, but I'm going to try and go through this fast. So I know everybody's trying to finish up, but just wanted to give you our update for the semi-annual update. I only get to talk to you twice a year, so there's a lot to cram in. So in general, Petroleum Administration is included dealing with various drill sites. And so Allen Co drill site, we have monthly meetings where we meet with stakeholders and the community, as well as enforcement. There's some legal challenges with the Allen Co drill site, and we responded to discovery that was launched by the operators at Allen Co drill site. August 24th is an upcoming court date, so we'll find out if that moves forward or if the court dismisses one of the legal challenges. So we're looking forward to that date. The office participated in the Murphy drill site planning case review, and we also coordinate on Rancho Park's annual inspections and their compliance needs. Another issue is that we've mentioned this before, but the city of Los Angeles was founded on oil, so there are parts of the city where oil continues to bubble up. Some that are risen to notice are in Council District 1, 4, and 11, and so we've been working with LAFD as well as Street Services on some of these issues. So LAFD is involved because some of the issues are when you get oil, you also get methane, so there's sometimes health and safety considerations in terms of fire or flames that could also set off some of this methane. So as the oil changes, sometimes there's a lot of methane that gets associated with it. For pipeline franchises, which you all know Tamara was instrumental on, in January and March, we invoiced $5.1 million in franchise agreement fees. And so far, as of this week, we've collected about $5.0 million. So there are a few issues that need to be resolved. So Gordon will be working on those. And we have completed our long-term pipeline franchise revenue study complete, and we plan to bring that to the board at some point. It's taking a little while as we deal with a lot of different other issues, but that is ongoing. SoCal Gas franchise work for the majority is completed. Vinico Pipeline is something we get more into depth with, but that's also something that you'll be hearing word about. As far as refineries, we have regular meetings with Marathon Refinery Company in Phillips 66, and we attend those community advisory panel meetings. There's also was work on the modified hydrofluoric work group, and this was I'm going to go more into depth with this, but there are only 2 refineries in the state of California that use modified hydrofluoric acid, and both are in Los Angeles County. One is the Valero Refinery in Wilmington. There's also an interagency refinery task force that we participate in. We've been working on department requests. Some are development projects. There's been some questions about how we're doing development near formal drill sites. So we're working with LAFD, the mayor's office, as well as with Department of Building and Safety. There are also different requests that come through from the CAO, planning, LAFD, Rec and Parks, and there's been a lot of planning, which I'm going to get into later. In terms of policy, the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas represents the City of Los Angeles on the Baldwin Hills Community Standards District meetings, and we're also a member of the Health Working Group as well as the Community Health Assessment Advisory Panel. We also coordinate on the AB 617 meetings for Wilmington, Carson, West Long Beach, and South LA. And we participate in the Rule 1148.2 work group meetings. And that's for oil and gas rules that AQMD puts out related to drill sites and oil things. We've also been participating in the LA County, LA City Just Transition Task Force. And those have been very interesting meetings and looking at how are fossil fuel workers going to transition as things change in the county and the city. And so we've had a special focus on site remediation and the actual work and transition piece. We've also been involved in doing different activities with Department Chief Sustainability Officers, the Board of Public Works Open House, and any California Public Records requests. And our staffing was able to attend training in June at the CAL FIRE Pipeline Safety Seminar. And speaking of staffing, I want to give you an update. As we heard earlier today, the staffing levels went quite low during pandemic. And so staffing went from 6 in 2019 to 2 in 2021, and that was Tamara Martin and myself, and we were trying to get it together, and I said that was hard. So the budget provided a number of new positions, so we were able to fill 2 last time. That was Gordon and Amanda, and now at that progress, we've been able to fill some more positions. So far we're at 7, and as the office, of the number of employees in the office, we're projected to go to 11. You can see that 3 more positions to fill are an environmental specialist 2, environmental supervisor, another environmental specialist, some in the compliance section, 1 more in amortization. And the reason why the count is a little off is that Tamara retired, but we were able to conduct interviews because there was an outstanding cert already, and so we were able to conduct interviews, and that person accepted the position, and they will start on the 29th of this month. So we actually will have some continuity fairly soon. And so I just wanted to give a brief introduction of some of our staff. So Daniel Liu, he joined the office in April, and he is our senior environmental engineer. And so he's working on a lot of different issues related to safety, compliance, and some of the other projects. And so it's been a great help to have him available to do things. And so he has been working he's been working for the city also for 23 years. So he's been working for a number of years. So he has a lot of expertise in environmental engineering, in the watersheds location, and he's also a licensed professional chemical engineer with a Master's of Science, and he has a Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering. So a lot of great expertise and technical knowledge that he brings to us, as well as city knowledge. Sandy Reyes joined us in June, and she's our targeted local hire, and she's an office trainee that's working on through our office, and she previously worked with LASD, and she's been very helpful. I'm doing a lot of different office admin tasks, things like responding to public records requests, digging for records and things, so it's been a pleasure to have her with us in the office. Gina Ranieri also joined the office in June, and so she is our management analyst, and she has a specialty in GIS focus, and that's been a huge benefit to our amortization program because we're looking at a lot of data files and pulling together records. And so she's been very helpful in this. And she's focused on the collection, organization, and quality control of data needed for our amortization study. Renee Spencer has also joined the office, and she's our environmental supervisor in amortization. And Renee's work experience includes regulatory compliance and monitoring, as well as outreach of areas. And her interest in environmental issues has led her to get a graduate certificate program in sustainability at LMU. And she has coursework on climate change, water management, and ecosystem services. So she has a lot of experience, and we're happy to have her available to help us with our, not only amortization, but a lot of other work as well. So we're staffing up. So moving on, just a recap of different issues. So this is our budget team in April 2022, and budget went well. And one thing that was in the budget was that there was the first newly created Climate Equity Fund. Some of the projects that are specific to the Office of Oil and Gas are air monitoring at oil drill sites. So there was 1.2 million set aside for that. And there's also climate vulnerability assessment and oil and gas record compliance clearinghouse. So some of that is going to be very important in terms of getting the compliance reports available to the citizens. There's a lot of questions about what is happening at this drill site. Do they have notices of violations? Who issued that? So the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas is not a regulatory agency. We do not do inspections, but we can pull together records of the various agencies and make sure that there is some knowledge of compliance and things. And so that's the idea behind this record compliance clearinghouse, is to put together records for each of the drill sites so the citizens have an idea of what's going on and they can find that on a regular basis. So we're going to work with all the regulatory agencies and do that. And so there are funds set aside to do that and create that dashboard. And this Climate Equity Fund is a council file, or it's in the council file ordinance system. And so currently it's scheduled for the Budget and Finance Committee and Energy, Climate Change, and Environmental Justice Committee. But once it moves through that process, we can start using those funds to do these types of projects. And the revenue from that, the revenue that was used to generate that, is actually from the SoCalGas franchise modernization. And that was a huge effort that all of the city went through recently. And just to recap, so it was in 1992 that there was the original agreement, and it was a 21-year franchise, and there were 10 extensions since 1992. Last year, we finally worked to modernize it, and we did a franchise valuation study between April to August of 2021, and negotiations from September to November of 2021. So the modern features are that instead of getting 2% of gross receipts, the city now gets 5.5%. We participate in the Street Damage and Restoration Fund. We'll have air quality monitoring at Playa del Rey with a public-facing website, similar to what's at Aliso Canyon. We'll have annual updates on decarbonization, and 21 million in climate equity funds. And so it's 21 million versus 10.5 because we got 10.5 for the first part of the agreement. And if we do the second part of the agreement, if the city chooses to use natural gas, we will get the other 10.5 million. But we got the first tranche already. And there'll also be increased communication with the city on emergency preparedness, and that's been a big question as there are pipelines and there's a lot of inherent risk with compressed gas and methane and things. People wanted to make sure that we're coordinating with the city on this. And in February, SoCalGas filed its letter with the California Public Utilities Commission. The ordinance was effective for the city on February 28th. The letter was approved by the California Public Utilities Commission staff on March 8th. And we worked with LA 311 because there was going to be a change in the billing cycle for our residents. So we worked with LA 311 to provide an overview so that as people have questions, what's this new payment in my bill? What's this line item that says something? We worked to provide a script and overview of what's going on. The notifications went out in April. New franchise rates were applied in May. And on June 2nd, Tamara actually got the notice that there's $10.5 million that came into the city for Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas. And so we distributed it to the right place. But we got that money for the Climate Equity Fund. The Green New Deal report, that's something that we're also participating in. You can see a number of the commissioners were actually there. So there's a lot of questions about what's happening in the future, fossil fuel related. So the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas worked together with Department Chief Sustainability Officers on providing updates on a regular basis to this. And so this was the third annual report for the Green New Deal. The office also participated in the Board of Public Works open house in July. And I just wanted to give you an overview of some of the other projects. So the Vinaco pipeline is something that you'll be seeing fairly soon. We're working with the Bureau of Engineering on a order solicitation for abandonment planning and engineering services. But basically the city is responsible for and intends to abandon this oil pipeline. And it was operated under a franchise agreement with the city. In 2017, bankruptcy court allowed Vinaco to walk away from the pipeline without properly abandoning it. The financial cost is now on the city, and we received $500,000 in fiscal year 21-22. And again, at that time, my office was very small and I didn't have the ability to use this and work on this project. But we were able to get this money set aside, so CD5 and the CAO's office were very helpful in the process. And now that I have Daniel's the senior environmental engineer in place, we're working with Bureau of Engineering on the TOS for abandonment and planning services. So we're going to do it in 2 phases. One will be just the planning services to make sure that it's planned out properly, and then the actual construction phase will be the 2nd phase. As I mentioned, we also participate in the modified hydrofluoric acid work group. And so in February, the Board of Supervisors approved a motion for Supervisor Hahn to prepare coordinated emergency response efforts if there should be a modified hydrofluoric acid release. And there was a work group that was established, and it was to look at planning conditions. The Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas was invited by LAFD Cuba and participated in the work group. The working group invited several stakeholders to provide their points of view on the issue. So we met with the Torrance Refinery Action Committee, the California Energy Commission, the Torrance Refinery, and the Valero Refinery. We attended the meetings and reviewed the draft report that went back to the LA County Supervisors. So this is a big one, non-conforming land use, also known as the motion to stop oil drilling. So this motion was first introduced in 2017 and instructed various departments to report on feasibility of amending the land use codes. The health report that the office put out in July of 2019 was part of this, and at the time we were thinking of 2,500-foot setbacks, and now it's a non-conforming land use throughout the city. So it went through a process, and it was early this year that it was heard in City Council, passed unanimously, and signed by the mayor in February. So some of these items that are really instructive were from, and this came out of the Budget and Finance Committee, is that the Department of City Planning was to make an ordinance to prohibit oil and gas drilling and make extraction activities a non-conforming land use in all zones. So the office was also, my office was also instructed to hire an amortization expert to conduct an amortization period for existing wells and to participate in the county's Just Transition Task Force. So on August 9th, the City Planning Department released their proposed draft ordinance, and they are going to have a public hearing on August 30th at 6 p.m. and they have their own website set up and frequently asked questions. We coordinated with planning on some of the frequently asked questions that come up about oil drilling. What is oil? What does this mean? What does that mean? So we helped them put together frequently asked questions, and there's going to be a lot of public comment coming related to that. The other thing that people come up as a question is, well, what's happening to the other part of the amortization studies? And this is from the LA Business Journal in February. Amortization is a concept where a local government can move to declare an economic activity non-compliant with zoning codes and then require a company to stop that economic activity once it has recouped its investment. The government is not obligated to make any additional payments to the company. So that's the idea behind doing these studies. Culver City has done this, and they had a budget of approximately $400,000 for 41 wells. The city of Los Angeles has significantly more wells, and we've been working hard on this. This has been a huge effort by that new team that's been brought into the office, is the amortization studies. So City Council established a budget of $3.5 million for these efforts. Board of Public Works approved a request for proposal on April 8th. We released that RFP on April 12th, and we had a pre-proposal meeting on April 20th. Proposals were due on May 10th, and we've received proposals and reviewed them. The next step is that city attorney is working to review the contract, and we expect to bring this whole thing to the board within the next month or so. So things are progressing. There was an article that appeared in the LA Times on Monday, and city planning was interviewed for this, and the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas was also interviewed. So we answered some questions about what's going on related to this whole phase out of oil drilling. More tasks ahead. So this council file went through a lot of things that they directed the office to do, including participating in the SNAPS program, California Air Resources Board study of neighborhood air and petroleum sources, to work on comprehensive safety plans at oil and gas drill sites, to organize a strike team, to come up with policy for abandonment and plugging of wells within 3 to 5 years, and to report on what else is going on at the state level to make sure that we're in compliance. So a lot of work came out of that ordinance. Another area that we're working on is with the county on the Baldwin Hills Health Assessment and Environmental Justice Study. So there was concerns about the study not properly capturing everything in the past. And so currently there's a community health assessment study that's going on, and it's headed by UCLA research team, and the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas is on the advisory panel. And some of the things that we've worked on in the last quarter or so are talking about sampling methods. And the idea for sampling is that it's not possible to get everybody in the population, but you want to make sure that you get representative samples. So we've been dealing with a lot of questions of how to get representative samples and how to make sure that the right people are incorporated in that. We've also worked on biometric measures, and so that's things like talking about pulmonary function as well as cardiac health and how those things would work, and locations where where multiple people could be scheduled at one time. AB 617 again relates to Wilmington, Carson, West Long Beach, as well as South LA. We participate in these community steering committees. And in Wilmington, Carson, West Long Beach specifically, South Coast AQMD is seeking support for a grant opportunity to get monitoring for PM 2.5 chemical composition in Wilmington. And we wrote a letter of support in March. And they gave a great overview of all the different rules that apply at oil and gas drill sites. So there are many, some for organic liquids, some for VOC leaks, some for oil and gas production wells, some for emissions from wastewater systems, some for notification and reporting requirements, and various permitting rules and different flaring rules. So there's a lot of regulations that the South Coast Air Quality Management District has related to oil and gas features. And one of the areas they were working on is also amending this Rule 1148 series, and this is something that the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas is participating in, is updating the terms and definitions. And one really good thing was to include annual chemical reporting requirement and making sure that there's better equipment for air quality groups in terms of like either Tier 4 or electric where possible. That's still a draft rule that is being finalized. And because of the monitoring that's been happening in Wilmington, Carson, West Long Beach since July of 2019, inspectors conducted over 265 inspections. Approximately of those, about 60 of them have resulted in enforcement actions. So notices of violations, notices to comply. So a lot of that work has been helpful in preventing leaks. And we're hoping to use that same type of technology in South LA. And so, again, they're using a lot of advanced monitoring and finding these leaks. And we're hoping to use that same type of work. And so the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas joined the air monitoring working team and hoping that these examples of technology can also be applied in South LA. And so the meetings have been weekly during the community emissions, during the community air monitoring program and community emissions reduction program. They're working on finalizing those. And so the topics have included air quality priorities, baseline monitoring, regulatory versus non-regulatory monitors, community science, monitoring data, and sensor library community education. There's going to be the public meeting to consider the community emissions reduction program on August 25th at no earlier than 4 p.m. There's also another initiative by CARB, which is the South LA Oil and Community Enforcement Work Group, and so the office will also participate in that. And I'm wrapping up, so looking forward, again, I'm hoping to bring the amortization study contracts within the next month or so. The Vinica Whittier pipeline abandonment will also be coming soon, and some of that's going to be, again, coordinated through the Bureau of Engineering. Eventually, long-term pipeline franchise agreements, that'll be the next thing, and that's what I'm hoping to be able to give to our new employee who'll be starting the senior management analyst in the franchise group. And just ongoing things, rentals and royalties is something that we need to investigate and make sure that we're getting the appropriate payments. Any upcoming state legislation, and continuing to participate in all these other groups, including AB 617, Inglewood Oil Field, Just Transition, and Interagency Refining Task Force. That's what I have. Let's stop sharing. Or any questions?
Thank you, Erica, for that very thorough and very good report you just gave us. I believe Dr. Davis has a question. Raise his hand. Dr. Davis?
Yes, thank you. This is a semi-annual report, right? Thank you so much for it. I have a couple of questions. The Baldwin Hills health assessment, is that an independent study that we have commissioned to a team to do, or who has put together the team who's going to do the health assessment in the Baldwin Hills area? Can you hear me?
You're on mute though, Erica.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you
Okay,
now.
great. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. All right. Yes, so this is a study that's actually put out by LA County Public Health is doing the study. They received the funds from LA County, and they've hired the UCLA researchers from UCLA to put together the study.
I
And
see.
so they are working together for that. We're serving as an advisory panel member, and so they have members of the community, some from Culver City, some from LA County, and then also their city residents who are near the Inglewood oil field. And so we represent the city in
I
that.
see.
capacity.
So they are in progress in terms of conducting the study.
That's correct. Well, they're in the planning phases, so they
They're
have
in
a
the
team
planning
involved in the
phases of,
planning phases.
and they're
Exactly.
going to do a random sample of the residents in the area to get a kind of general understanding of any adverse impacts, if you will, from that area, if we have any, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
And so the issue is, and we've been talking about how random, how do you target people, how do you make sure you're getting a good response rate and you're getting representative samples. So there have been a lot of really in-depth discussions on that, on those topics, of making sure we're getting representative samples and not over-representing certain areas.
Okay, you also shared with us AB 617. So the purpose of 617 is to assess what?
So, yes, so Assembly Bill 617's purpose is to look at the air pollution impacts to environmental justice communities. And so one of the first year communities was Wilmington, Carson, West Long Beach. And so they figured that community is, you know, there's a 710 freeway, the Port of Los Angeles, many oil refineries, as well as drill sites and things in that area. And so there's a lot of impacts to those communities. And so the idea was to look at coming up with programs to assess the air quality monitoring efforts as well as reducing emissions. And so they put in place various programs to try and reduce the impact to those residents. And so
you did mention the application of 617 perhaps in South LA.
South LA is a newer community, so it has not had those same types of programs developed yet, but they're trying to use that same technology where
I see.
possible in South LA because there's similar oil drill sites and things in South LA.
I see. Okay. Now, in terms of the semi-annual report on petroleum, natural gas, and safety, one, I've observed that we are making very great progress in terms of fulfilling the staffing that we need for the office to provide the services through residents of the South LA, of the entire city, quite frankly. So I see that you're down to 3 potential staff that you need in the future, and I'm very pleased since the last report to see the progress that we have made. As you observe the work that we have done over the last report, what would you say is perhaps the most progress that we have made in the work that you're doing since your last report to the board?
Yeah, well, you identified it exactly. Hiring has been a huge focus of the office, is getting some help. So we've been successful at gathering people to work for this office, so that's great. And then there's been a huge push again for the amortization studies and getting a team in place for that, getting that contract out, trying to get the proposals in and get a contract for that, because that's a huge effort that we know is a historic effort that the city is making, so we want to support anything that's going on with that. So those have been the 2 huge focuses.
What would you say is our biggest challenge to date for the office in terms of the work that we have to do?
I think it's just really getting the resources in the right places at the right time. We knew this amortization was big, but then there's other things will crop up as being really big priorities. And so trying to shift staffing according to that. So there are a lot of priorities coming. As we know, there are going to be new council members coming in. I believe for all of the areas with the most oil, Council District 1, Council District 5, Council District 11, and Council District 15, we'll have new council members coming in. So all of them will need to be educated, and we'll have a lot of questions related to oil and gas. And so it's going to be a big effort to get knowledge to those people about what's been going on, what's going on in the future, what are their concerns and questions. So that knowledge transfer, I think, is going to be a big upcoming issue.
Great. As we look at our role in the region, in the county area, the city of Los Angeles is probably the leader in terms of the petroleum, natural gas, and safety area in terms of leadership, in terms of a dedicated office. Do you have gained relationships with other municipalities in our region that collaborate with us in the work that we're doing? Are there other cities nearby in the area that are doing this work?
Yes, so LA County has an office of oil and gas as well. And we had a meeting just the other day talking about different types of technology and GIS resources that could be useful for residents to understand what's happening with oil and gas. LA County is also working on an ordinance to phase out oil drilling. So we do work collaboratively with them. And the resources are sometimes different. Sometimes it's in the planning department, sometimes it's in the public works department, but we are working together. There's some different working groups that happen with the state of California, the Department of Conservation, which CalGEM is under, and they coordinate regular meetings to coordinate on planning, any types of public engagement activities that are occurring so that people are aware of what's going on. So we do have some different groups that we participate in.
Okay. And then finally, in terms of the natural gas oversight, where are we in terms of our work in managing natural gas interests for the city?
So for natural gas, we're a bit limited because it's under the California Public Utilities Commission. So we cannot make the same types of rules that we can make for oil specifically, but we can do research and collect information. And so that's some of the ongoing work with SoCalGas, is looking at the reports for their compliance. So they report to the state, the California Air Resources Board, California Energy Commission, et cetera, and gathering some of those reports and making them available to the public. That's a whole nother effort that we are working on getting records for. And we're having monthly meetings with SoCalGas on that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your feedback. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dr. Davis, for that. Any other questions, colleagues?
No.
Commissioner Reyes?
Thank you, Erica, for that comprehensive report. I really appreciate you have so much on your plate and the resources that will take to really scale up the work and prioritize the work before you and before us as a city. I just want to emphasize the amortization project because I know that is important to the city. I know the city council placed a lot of priority on that as well. And you are moving, towards the study, right? And really looking at impacts. I also want to just emphasize that the specific part of that initiative that I think requires us working with the LA County on the just transition. And that just transition is really important because if we are going to move forward, looking at how we do the work with those untapped oil wells underneath our city, and there's many, and looking at jobs that would have been lost and jobs that could be created in this transition, and really looking at those communities where we could work very closely in terms of local hire, training, and workforce development. There's this huge opportunity to turn that sort of like good news, bad news, right, for the oil and gas industry, for the benefit of the city, that we are going to be looking at the job creation piece. And that just the term just transition really meant that there's no more harm will be done to those communities. There will be the magnitude of the work that will be done will be scaled up, and that those communities will then have the capacity to really own that work and that piece for economic development. So I am very impressed about the work that you guys are doing, but I know that there is such a huge workload. I appreciate all the work that you're doing. This is really important in terms of public health because it impacts like 4 million, residents of the city of LA impacted by those emissions, really, and the leaks that are potential. Anytime there's a pipeline, it's not a question of if it will leak, it's a question of when. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes, for that. Any other questions, colleagues?
I don't have any questions, but I just want you to know, Erica, and I really appreciate my colleagues' just questions and comments. Really proud of the work that you've done and getting all of your hires so quickly, and then just the amount of work that you're producing. And really just, you don't just report to us, you report to council, and I know that that's tough too. But we really learn a lot when you give us these reports as well. Just know that we feel that we're in good hands with the work that you and your entire team are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great. And I also want to thank you for your very hard work that you did this year on the negotiating with the SoCal Gas franchise. That was tremendous and a big hurdle on your end. And I also thank the sales office for their time spent on this. But on our end, Erica, you really represent us well, and you did a great job making sure that we got the best for the city, and we did. And so thank you for that. And I just wanted to recognize that because you did that work probably between the last time you presented to us and now. And so it's now come to fruition. Folks, even SoCal Gas has now transferred the funds, so we're up on our way with that piece of it, and you were a big piece to that. Thank you, Erica, for that.
Thank you.
All right, Erica single-handed brought in 10 million this year. In 13 years, she'll bring another 10 million. So there you go. I think 11, because I think it's 21 at the end, right?
Well, yeah, 10.5 and 10.5. Yeah, makes
yeah, there you go. A short of milk.
Pretty much $1 million per year.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for that. All right. Well, if nobody has any other questions or comments for Erica, we can tell you thank you for your presentation. It was very good, comprehensive, and you really made sure that we understood your office as a whole, and which is always good for us to do it. Welcome to all those new folks that are joining us. We probably have not met you in person yet, but we will as time will allow us. But I just want to say welcome to the Board of Public Works. We are very appreciative of the work that you're going to do, and we have no interference in knowing that Erica is a great leader, and this office will come out winning every year. So thank you for that, Erica.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
All right. Well, have a good weekend. Thank you to you and your team that put all this presentation together.
Thank you.
All right. All right, colleagues, that was the last of today's agenda items. Dr. Campos, have we cleared today's desk?
Yes, you have.
Great. Colleagues, it is 11:43. We'll take a 5-minute break and then have a short management meeting. So officially, this meeting at 11:44,